So in this video, we will learn what is net domestic product and why we need, besides the GDP, we need the NDP. So the change in the real GDP tells us how much the economy output is growing. However, being an investor, you sometimes more care about how the production goes. So the growth at the expense of the future output occurs unless factor of the production are replaced. So for instance, next year, we won't be able to produce as much output unless we replace the capital we used this year. So do you remember in chapter 1, we actually learned a curve called the production possibilities? So that's the alternative combination of the final goods and the services that could be produced in a given time period with all available resource and technology. So one thing you have to keep in mind is value of the capital used up in producing goods and services. And so this kind of process is called the depreciation. And they are all be estimated by the U.S. Department of Commerce. So in other words, the depreciation is the consumption of the capital in the production process. So the wearing out of the plant and equipment all considered as the depreciation. So if you think about GDP, we only consider what is produced. However, we never consider how to produce. So for the GNP, the NDP, the net domestic product, actually considering the depreciation of the whole production process. So that's why the NDP actually equal to the GDP minus the depreciation. So GDP minus depreciation. So when we look at when we produce, as we mentioned, we wear out. So which means the NDP is more realistically measuring what happened in the real economy. So it's not just looking at the final product, but they also consider during the whole production process, we have some product will wear out. So we have to consider the depreciation. So the distinction between the GDP and the NDP is mirroring in the difference between gross investment and the net investment. So for the gross investment is the total investment expenditure in a given time period. For the net investment is gross investment less the depreciation. So which means net investment equal to gross investment minus the depreciation. So why we need to understand the NDP? So we will know that when the net investment is positive, actually our economy is growing. When the net investment is negative, so the economy is declining. Again, remember, in the chapter 1, we see the production possibility curve is moving outward, is growing, move inward, is declining. So when the net investment is positive, which means your GDP growing faster, faster than the depreciation of your product, so your economy is really growing. However, if you get a negative net investment, which means your GDP growth is slower than the depreciation rate, so this will indicating your economy is declining. So the NDP, which is second index you can use to measure the growth and the decrease of one economy.